Ralph Waldo Emerson once wrote, "I cannot remember the books I have read any more than the meals I have eaten. Even so, they have made me." In any retrospective, we might fear that looking too closely at art makes us lose something, that we might somehow lose the magic. But I beg to differ. Art and stories are a hidden hydra. You peel back one layer of meaning only to find two more waiting beneath it. You could almost say it's an ocean. My name is Kaupenjoe, and I am a YouTuber.
Stephen King once wrote that nightmares exist outside of logic, and there's little fun to be had in explanations. They're antithetical to the poetry of fear. In a horror story, the victim keeps asking why, but there can be no explanation, and there shouldn't be one. The unanswered mystery is what stays with us the longest, and it's what we'll remember in the end. My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
And that's exactly how we start into the game too.
I've always had a vivid imagination, but this dream unsettled me. It was wild and dark and weird, even by my standards.
Alan Wake is a successful horror story writer who suffers from vivid nightmares. Within this particular dream, he makes his way towards a lighthouse, but he hits a hitchhiker on the road, when suddenly the lights turn off. And, okay. And now we're controlling Alan Wake. The controls are basic for a third-person game. The minimal HUD is extremely immersive and it works super well for this game.
The fact the camera isn't centered on Wake is a fascinating stylistic choice. In the beginning, I thought I would hate it, but quite the contrary. It works wonders and you completely forget about it after playing for a couple of minutes. Within the game, you can pick up thermal scans. Now, I won't get all of them, but if they're not too far out of the way, I will collect them. Feel free to guess how many I'm gonna get in the comments below. The answer will be revealed towards the end.
And as we move along, the character from Alan's books is chasing us, taunting us even, until it turns into a swirling tornado of darkness. It's clear that light is a powerful force in this game. The tornado snuffing out each of the street lamps is unnerving. So we just have to run. Luckily we are saved, but the person helping us, he's not safe, not quite as much. And trapped in this cavern, suddenly we hear a voice.
Follow the light.
Each lit area like this is a safe haven, usually accompanied by a checkpoint, and the light also heals us. We are then introduced to the basic fighting mechanics of the game. When encountering a foe, we must first burn the darkness off of them with our trusty flashlight or any other light that is available in the vicinity. Once that is done, we can take the shot. As we continue along, multiple of the Taken are after us at the same time. It makes things much more stressful when there's more than one. There is, however, a tell that a new Taken is coming. Basically, the world becomes blurry, swirly mess of colors, and there's no focus at all. It then always zooms into the monsters, especially if they spawn behind you. Very well appreciated. Well, we make our way across the bridge and the tornado is slowly approaching, so we must reach the lighthouse. And even though we do, the light suddenly turns off and... We wake up and are greeted by Alice, Alan's wife, and here we arrive in Bright Falls. At the front of the boat, we meet Pat Main, host of the local radio station. While he invites us to an interview, Alan declines. Fair enough. Then Alan's agent Barry calls, who seems to be quite an eccentric guy.
Are you there yet?
Barry, yeah, we just got here.
Are the locals giving you trouble? Just say the word and I'll hop on a plane and come make sure that you're left alone, Al.
Alright, we arrive and have to get the keys.
The restroom. He'll be back in a moment.
Yeah, this hallway doesn't look ominous in the slightest. Oh my.
Don't go in there, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
I think I can handle it, ma'am.
Sure, that's a great idea. So we walk into the darkness and knock to find Stucky. However, instead we find someone else.
Hello? Mr. Stucky?
Carl couldn't make it. Unfortunately, he was taken ill. But I have the key for you and instructions on how to get to the lake.
Okay.
I wish you a good stay in my cabin. I'll come by later to check how you've settled in. And to meet your wife. I insist.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that he was in a hurry, but whatever, let's just go.
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Very inspiring.
You got lucky this time, young man. You can hurt yourself in the dark.
Listen, if I know one thing about stories, the crazy old person is always right. You should really listen to her. Regardless, we got the keys, so off we go.
Hey, wait! Mrs. Wake! Your keys!
Wait, if those weren't the keys from Mr. Stucky. Oh my.
That diner was a real nut house.
Alan then reveals his writer's
I
block.
don't want to talk about it. I wanted to bury my head in sand.
Here's another one of my favorites to go with it.
Once upon a time, I was a successful writer, but that was a long time ago. I hadn't been able to write a word in 2 years, not since my last book.
And finally, here we are. Diver's Isle. Alice has a fear of the darkness, which it works really well in this story, doesn't it? Yeah, well, inside we find a
A shoebox filled with books by Thomas Zane sat on the shelf. I'd never heard of him before.
also the lights are off, so we turn the generator on in the shed and illuminate the place.
I have a surprise for you.
What is the surprise, you might ask? Well, of course, it is this.
Surprise!
Alice? What is this?
I guess I have a small confession to make. I thought maybe you could write here that a change of scenery would get you past...
Damn, Alice, everyone keeps...
Hey, just hear me out. There's a local doctor, Dr. Hartman. I read a book of his. He has a private clinic here. He specializes in helping artists.
So now you want to get me committed?
No, it's not like that. That's not...
No, that was a face.
Alan?
There was a face there.
Alan?
Just don't! I don't want to hear it. God damn it, Alice!
I knew she wouldn't follow me in the dark. I needed some time alone to think things through.
And all of a sudden, the lights turn off. A flock of birds attacks us, and when we make it back to the cabin...
Oh no!
Keep going.
Alice?
At first, I really thought this was just another nightmare, but oh boy, was I in for a surprise. We need to make it back to the gas station to get help. While running through the forest, a bright light appears and...
The loose sheets of paper were pages from a manuscript entitled Departure. That was the name I planned to use for the next novel I had never gotten started. I was named the author. I hadn't written it. I couldn't remember writing it. In the scene on the page, the hero was attacked by an axe murderer in the woods at night.
Yeah, just like it was written on the page. As we make it to the lumber yard. Oh boy.
Ducky, pleased to meet you. Non-refundable reservation deposit required. Fair and square.
Luckily though, we make it to a cavern and find a flashlight and a revolver. The same Taken that attacked us in our dream before are now real? What?
There were no bodies. They just disappeared. If I was dreaming, it felt real enough to make me sick.
As we're making our way through the forest, we sometimes get strange visions or strange insights into what happened.
As we're fighting the Taken, I will explain the basic concept of the combat system. We basically walk around, and when enemies appear, we first have to defeat the darkness by shining a light into them. This way we burn off the darkness, and then finally we can shoot them. Once all enemies in an area are dispatched, we get a small slowdown to basically notify us. The game is not really meant to be hard, at least for now. We'll talk about when that happens at a later date. Frustrations are still to come. The game, the story, it just needs an enemy to fight. It all makes sense.
There's small puzzles here and there. For example, here, we must turn on the power and then move a log to make a bridge.
The puzzles get slightly more in-depth a little later, but really, they're nothing worth talking about in reality. I don't know.
When we find a radio, we can listen to Pat talk about some currently interesting topics, or not so interesting topics, depending on your point of view. I will skip most of the sections, because most of the time they don't offer anything too interesting, although maybe sometimes there's a cut here or there. The indicator on the top left corner shows us the direction that we have to go, like the actual direction we have to go. This is extremely useful, especially during these very open segments. Within this one shed, we find a TV with an episode of Night Springs. Similar to the radio segments, these shows are interesting to watch, but they only offer sort of a secondary view into the world of Alan Wake. Nothing too crazy. Continuing into the lumberyard, we finally find Stucky, and oh boy, he is fast. Luckily though, we're faster.
Stucky's body vanished, leaving behind only a lifetime of nightmares to come. Assuming I'd reach the lights at the gas station alive.
We finally arrive at the gas station, however...
It looked like someone had trashed the place. Or that there'd been some kind of fight.
Yeah, inside of the garage, there's a TV and... Okay?
Writing. Outside, there's only darkness. Outside the cabin, outside the story, there's only darkness. I can feel her presence in the dark. Just now, I could smell her perfume in the room. I'll reach her, I'll fix it up. I'll bring her back. The story will come true. If I stop, she's lost.
I don't believe this. It'd been me on the TV, talking crazy. Was I losing my mind?
And to my surprise, unlike in other horror stories, we actually call the police. Good job! Not that they would be able to handle any paranormal activity, let's be honest, but still.
But listen, I was in a car crash. My wife, Alice, she's missing.
Calm down, Mr. Wake.
We were staying in a cabin on the island, on Cauldron Lake.
There's no island on Cauldron Lake, not since the big eruption in the 70s.
Please, I can take you there, okay?
You look like you've taken a pretty bad knock to the head.
I realized I couldn't tell her what had happened in the forest. She wouldn't have believed me. And then she wouldn't have helped me with Alice.
Indeed, there is no island. And with this, we are at the end of episode 1, and I am hooked.
Upon starting the next episode, we get a short review of what happened previously. Previously on Alan Wake, exactly. I'll skip those segments because, well, while you're watching this video, I'm pretty sure I summarized all of the things that happened before just like a couple of minutes. I don't think we need that. For the game itself though, highly appreciated if you play it over multiple days. Very good. We start off with a flashback to 3 years ago back in NYC. The first thing I was thinking here, by the way, this is a huge apartment for New York City. It must cost a fortune. But then I also remember this was like 2010-ish, or maybe even earlier, so it was probably still more affordable. Today, this is like a palace, okay? Anyway, we find a QR code that says, turns out this isn't even too bad if you're not sitting on your couch when you play it. Who knew? Okay, apparently this refers to the fact that the PC version was cancelled by Microsoft. Luckily though, it did come out 2 years later, and I guess the devs were just cracking a joke. You turn on the coffee machine, and of course the power goes out. Oh boy.
Honey, it's a power outage. I've got the flashlight.
Especially when I'm not prepared for it, you know? It gets to me.
The dark really spooked me too. When it got really bad, my mom gave me this old light switch. She called it the clicker.
The clicker, huh?
Yeah. If I ever got scared of the dark, I could just flip the switch and a magic light would scare the monsters away.
Oh, sure. Alan.
Maybe it'll help you too.
Yeah, nice story, writer boy.
A clicker, huh? Chekhov's clicker, anyone? No? Okay.
Alright, Wake is examined by the small town doctor, but obviously doesn't reveal all the information. Fair enough. Next, we walk to Sheriff Breaker, who luckily gets our phone working again. Okay. Someone calls, and it's Alice's voice.
Alan, please help me.
Alice?
Stop talking to the law. You'll do exactly what I say if you ever want to see your wife again.
Oh boy. As we're going to the outside, the guy in the cell asks if we can turn the lights on. Yes, of course we do. Listen, light. You have to turn on the light. I actually love this, and I would have loved this if this was a recurring sort of motif where you can just turn on the lights. I would have turned them on everywhere, okay? It's important. Well, the back of the police station, we find Alice's driver's license. And then Barry, our agent, calls, and he actually flew up to Bright Falls. Sure. Next step?
To get to Elderwood National Park to meet Alice's kidnappers.
Alright, let's go. We go back into the police station, and once again, Alan sees himself on TV.
Shapes it from nothingness. The way a sculptor carves a statue from a block of granite. If I stop, the world I'm making dies. Darkness will reclaim it. It's a long, hard journey into the dark. Alice's life is at stake, but I can't think about that, or I'll lose it. The dread lingers at the edge of perception. I'll push on. Anything is possible here. I'll write the story. I'll save her.
Alright, finally we meet Sheriff and Dr. Emil Hartman, who introduces himself and saying that he invited Alice to this town, and so, yeah.
Hey, nobody move! Get your hands off of my client!
Who are you?
I'm Barry Wheeler, his agent. What the hell was that about, Al? We don't need a replay of that thing with the paparazzi. I thought they were gonna lock you up.
Had to talk to someone. I told Barry everything. He thought I was certifiable, but when he heard about the manuscript, I had him. The fact that I'd written something, even if I couldn't remember it, was enough for him. He smelled money. I had a midnight appointment with the kidnapper in a place called Lover's Peak, somewhere in Elderwood National Park. The plan was to rent a cabin.
I don't like it, Al. I don't like any of it. It's not good. In fact, it's the absolute opposite of good.
A mammoth plush though? They look so cute. I only have this. Oh wait, you're not even able to see it because it's green. This is a Beetle plush.
We talk to Rusty, get the keys to the cabin, and wait until nightfall. Listen, why do kidnappers always have to wait until nightfall to meet? Every time, man. Anyways, off to make our way slowly down to Lover's Peak, or I guess up, right? Peak would be a mountain, so up to Lover's Peak. On the way there's multiple creepy caverns, abandoned shacks, and in one of them another episode of Night Spring comes on, which is, yeah, the man in the mirror.
Yeah, okay, no. Get me the frick out of here, okay? I don't need to listen to that in any way, shape, or form. My imagination knows exactly what the frick kind of a horror story that is going to be. No, thank you.
Or instead, we continue on the trail. All of a sudden, ooh, something insane is happening. Yep, it is.
Mr. Wake? Oh, hell. It happened just the way it was on that page. So dark, it'll come back for me. You must... The lights in the office. I have the key.
Okay, Rusty. Hang on. I'll be right back.
Alright, we go to the office and turn the lights back on and okay. We start burning away some of the liquid darkness and destroy some of the taken. Rusty was gone and there's a giant hole in the wall now. Oh boy. And sadly, Rusty also became consumed by darkness. We defeat him and then even more taken. Parts of the park are devastated. Finally, Barry calls and finally sees that, in fact, we're not crazy after all. To make it to Lover's Peak, we must fight our way through the darkness, as well as way more taken. We make it to a lift that speeds up on arrival and we're surrounded.
Wait, more of them coming. That flashlight's kid stuff.
It took a moment, but then I recognized him. He'd been on the ferry when I first arrived here with Alice. He knew my name. We were headed in the direction of Lover's Peak. There was no way this was a coincidence. He was the kidnapper.
But luckily, we're given flares, which are incredibly useful. Basically, the taken stay completely away from the flare lights, and if the flare is close enough, it actually will remove the darkness from them as well. Flares are insanely useful for crowd control.
Now with these games, it's really easy to never use things you're given. Like, oh, I will surely need this later. Let's not shoot too many bullets over here, maybe I'm gonna need them later. But I think this is an understandable approach, however it is flawed. So, as soon as I get things, I use them. I use every single resource that is available to me, including health. So, we're using it now. There's plenty of things to be found in the game, and I really only found myself lacking on ammo or other resources maybe once or twice in the entire game, which is honestly truly fair.
At Lover's Peak, we fight more monsters. This time, instead of having a gun ourselves, we just have to light up the taken and the kidnapper shoots them. I like the slight change in the formula. It's nothing groundbreaking, but considering we have like 7 more episodes to go, if it was always the same, it would become quite stale. And it becomes a little stale, but not too stale, so we're good.
There's my wife.
I knew you were gonna say that. I read it all before. You're a hell of a writer. Congratulations. You're gonna bring about something glorious and terrible once we get you some proper editorial control.
What the hell are you talking about? Where's Alice?
I want the entire manuscript, or she's gonna suffer bad.
You touch her mouth.
Yeah, so that's why you don't talk to a guy right next to a cliff.
With the kidnapper gone and wanting the manuscript, the next step, get back to Barry. Within the forest, there's bear traps all around. Luckily though, they have a distinct glow to them, making navigation not too hard, luckily. After some harrowing fights, we make it to the camping grounds and a chainsaw man attacks us. But with a hunting rifle, the issue is easily solved. We find car keys and we see ourselves again on the TV.
A story is not a machine that does what you tell it. A story is a beast with a life of its own. You can create it, shape it, but as the story grows, it starts wanting things of its own. Change one thing and you set off a chain reaction of events that spreads through the whole thing. The characters have to be true to themselves. The events need to follow a logic that fits the story. A single flaw and the magic is gone. The story dies. Alice dies.
He's absolutely right, by the way. I've written 2 books, never published though, and at some point the characters just do shit you don't want them to do. But you have to follow them. Otherwise, you're not being true to the character, and that destroys the entire story. Yeah.
Right, we take a car, and overall, driving is fine. It's nothing noteworthy. We can use the headlights to clear the darkness off of the Taken, and then just run them over. This is pretty cool. We can also boost the headlights to make them a little bit stronger. Overall, it seems like the path is made for both walking and driving in mind. So, that's pretty good. And the kidnapper calls again.
The manuscript, and you can have your woman back. Simple as that.
I'm gonna need time to finish it. I still need to write the ending. I need a week.
2 days. The old Bright Falls coal mine is nearby. You can find it easy, city boy.
2 days to finish a manuscript we don't remember writing. That's okay, sure. Then, back at the cabin,
Barry had talked about birds over the phone.
Alright, we start fighting birds like it is birdemic. This is not the strangest thing I've ever said, but it's definitely up there. Anyway, the best strategy to deal with the birds is to either use a flare gun or light a flare just before they reach you. That will almost instantly destroy the entire flock. Awesome. And once all birds are disposed of, we finally get back to Barry's
Description. He'd go through the archives of the local paper. Perhaps he could learn something. Anything about the island and the cabin that had disappeared. The man wanted a manuscript. I had to try to write him one to get Alice back. For me, the supernatural had always been nothing but a metaphor for the human psyche, a tool to use in writing fiction. Now, it was happening for real, and I couldn't put a single word on paper.
Barry Wheeler speaking.
This is Rose.
Rose?
I found Mr. Wake's pages.
Oh, you sweet, brilliant girl.
Could you and Mr. Wake come get them? I live in the trailer park outside the town.
We'll be there in less than an hour.
I know.
See you soon.
Welcome to the Oh Dear
Diner. Good girl.
Oh boy, what wonders will await us in the next episode. I gotta admit, the way they are able to do these cliffhangers is incredible. You just can't wait to get to the next episode. So I guess, off we are!
Episode 3 starts off with us arriving at the trailer park to meet Rose. An FBI agent has come to the station and he is eager to see us. No, first we must talk to Rose. During the Rock tour, Barry talks about some backstory concerning Cauldron Lake.
This place is crazy. Disappearances, mysterious deaths, urban legends come true, and get this, most of this stuff takes place around Cauldron Lake. There was an island there owned by a guy called Thomas Zane.
Well, wait a second. Isn't that some interesting backstory?
But I ran a bunch of searches, couldn't find a single thing he wrote, and Zane went down with the island.
As we're conversing with Rose, we drink some delicious coffee and listen, I don't know how you can't immediately tell how incredibly monotone her affect is.
I really need it.
I understand. I know what you need. A muse to inspire you.
Oh, for Barry? She doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
And then also,
hey,
yeah.
What? What?
Could have seen that one coming, but this I did not. What the?
I insist.
You must turn the lights on. Turn the light on.
Back to work, boy.
Okay, we'll just ignore this and continue.
Reality from dream anymore, but it seems I have an imaginary editor to help me. She's an old woman in a funeral dress. I call her Barbara Jagger. She's very strict. I'm writing faster and faster. My manuscript is being heavily revised. The edits are getting very aggressive, and each day there's less of me and more of her. I hate it, but I know she's right. She promises me I can save Alice this way. She knows more of this than I do. About the complex incantation I'm attempting. About this place. She's worked with another writer under similar circumstances, Thomas Zane. The genre of the story seems to be shifting. It's turning into a horror story. I'm getting close. I can feel it.
Well, we arrive at the gate, but sirens outside sound aloud, and the feds are here. Oh boy.
Get him, Stop, Hemingway! You're under arrest!
Agent Nightingale loves to use any writer's name to refer to us. This is awesome, and I can tell the writers had a lot of fun with this character. Yes, and now instead of running from the dark, we're actually running from the light. Quite ironic. Yeah, the issue though is, the darkness is following us too. Oh boy, and the police, they do not stand a chance. So, yep, not even the chopper. Oh boy. Wake sees the radio tower in the distance. And remember, we met the radio host back when we arrived on the boat. I think it's a fair goal. So, off we are. The darkness has learned a new trick though. Possessing objects. We now use a searchlight to clear the gate of the darkness, and it is gone. Luckily, we find a flashlight and then have to do the same for the gate ahead. Then, my favorite weapon by far, the flashbang grenades. They basically eviscerate any taken in a radius, like instant death. They are so satisfying to use, and we even get ourselves the Sound and Fury achievement by getting 4 taken with it all at once. It's really satisfying, I like it. Well, after a track, we make it to the radio station.
Nowhere to run now, Dan Brown. You back away from me. Don't hurt.
Whoa. Everyone calm down. Put the gun down. We're all friends here, right?
Cool your jets, Nightingale. We got him. What the hell's the matter with you? There's a civilian in there.
Alright, and so we run again. Our next stop, the coal mines.
It's almost like someone was writing a compelling story, giving the protagonist just enough resources to make it through, but not so many to make him invincible. Truly smart.
We get a call from Alice, however it sounded a little bit strange.
I'm so afraid. It keeps me in the dark. Please help me.
Well, at some point we make it to a very sketchy bridge, and then, yeah, the darkness is starting to possess objects and throwing them at us. Yeah, so now barrels, wheelbarrows, and steel beams are starting to attack us too. I mean, what the heck, man?
In terms of keeping the action fresh, it's a nice change of pace. The game always introduces a slightly new component to combat and action in every episode. Very well done.
The object possessing all culminates with... Really? A bulldozer?
Listen, I don't know what happened here, I just died immediately. Luckily, the second time around, easy enough.
Alright, we take a car and drive. Luckily though, it is during daylight. We take the car and Alan has a realization.
Little by little, without realizing it, I'd come to believe that the story in the manuscript was coming true. The current of its narrative had taken me deeper and deeper into dark waters. Alice had been taken from me. Barry was probably in jail. I was a fugitive from the FBI. The whole world taken over by the Dark Presence was trying to destroy me.
Nothing particularly interesting happens on the way to the coal mine, so let's just cut to inside of the mine instead.
I didn't want to go outside. Cops had to be looking for me. The noon sun turned the place into a sauna. The day dragged on. Different scenarios ran through my mind. Ways of how I'd torture the kidnapper to get Alice back. Or the different horrible things he could have done to her. I imagined her dead. I had no way of knowing she was still alive. It was killing me. I was running on blind hope. It was all a waste of time. The bastard never showed up.
Yeah, so we wait until the dead of night, until the guy calls and tells us to go towards Mirror Peak.
Because if you do, you better watch what you say to me. Do we understand each other?
I want to talk to Alice.
Yeah, and I want the manuscript. Don't keep me waiting, Wake.
Hello? Hello? Ah! I'm gonna kill him.
Ah yes, the hero's journey, rising action. Well done, Wake, well done.
Within the coal mine itself, there are so many enemies. I run for it for the first time. I'm gonna be real, it did not occur to me that I don't have to fight all the time. It is a very prudent decision sometimes. And then I also finally realized that these red canisters are filled with some sort of gas and they explode. Listen, I know that red means they will explode, but usually it's red barrels, not red canisters. But fair enough. On the way to Mirror Peak, there were a few close calls here and there. However, with searchlights, flashbangs, it helped out even the odds just a little bit. And then we just have to casually cross the ghost town. Oh yeah.
It was dead. A ghost town. Had been for decades, maybe a century.
Yeah, and now ghosts are actually haunting this place. Ah!
As we find refuge in the cabin, we see Wake on TV again.
I feel ill. I managed to make my way downstairs. There's a shoebox filled with books and papers by Thomas Zane. It's very hard to focus, but I managed to read some of it. He's a poet, and a good one. He writes of muses and creators summoning fabulous things from a magic lake, using his powers to shape the world of a realm of gods and dreams and demons, dark things that wait for a chance to slip through, wearing the flesh of men as disguise. Zane writes about himself, his girlfriend being taken over by a dark presence, about growing scared of the lake. Zane believes it's a mirror to the gaping void of darkness above, where some Lovecraftian presence lurks. I crawl back upstairs. I'll borrow these things for my story. They ring true. They fit.
Right, after fighting some birds, we make it to a cave. And then we follow Alice's voice.
I'm losing it. I gotta get out of here.
Okay, I just wanted to know, okay? He can't swim, fair enough.
Alright, after all of this, we get a small elevator puzzle where we have to change the elevation of this log to make it a bridge to cross. Nothing complicated and easily done. This then allows us to escape the cave and go towards Mirror Peak. As we're very slowly making our way with this cable cord, it's Birdemic all over again. Well, good thing I still have this flare gun and some flares, so the birds are easily dealt with. We crash down, cross a rickety bridge, and at some point we're encircled. Well, that's what you'd think, but using a well-placed flare, there's nothing to worry about. From time to time, we've been finding markings that are only visible with the light from our flashlight. These always lead to a box filled with additional loot. However, this time, instead of this house, well,
CW and Thomas Zane. Who is CW? Of course, Kaupenjoe was well aware of who CW was, as most likely you know too. However, in order to keep the suspense, and in having more dramatic moment later, he decided not to reveal it yet.
Whatever it was, she was obsessed, it seems. Oh boy. We break through the ceiling and we get a very hard fight. This is the first one I really struggled with and the first one I actually die on as well. Okay, but after that we're inching closer and we hear the kidnapper talk to someone. Oh, and as we reach him... oh boy.
Listen, we will be saved. But by whom? How we will get out of this mess? We must learn the truth.
Oh, that's a convenient title for the next episode.
Just a nightmare.
Hart, you went through another rough period. What? Right now, it's very important that you stay calm. We don't want you to have another episode. You're a patient at my clinic. Have been. For a while, the shock of your wife's death triggered a mental illness.
No, you're lying.
You're suffering from various symptoms of undifferentiated schizophrenia.
No, this can't be right, can it?
I encourage creativity as a part of the recovery process here at Cauldron Lake Lodge. Alice is dead.
No.
You're in a very vulnerable state until you understand and accept this. Alice drowned. And you couldn't face that. You're suffering from hallucinations, paranoid delusions, unusual thinking, an obsession about light and darkness, a feeling that everything revolves around you, your thoughts and dreams. Your mind has constructed an elaborate fantasy scenario in which your writings are affecting reality.
Listen, in the real world, he is absolutely right. But in this story, and in stories in general,
he had to be lying.
Yes, I agree. Within the common room, we meet the Anderson brothers. Two old rockers who, well, you might say that they are off their rockers. Instead, though...
he's not crazy enough. Not crazy like us, Sonny. Yeah! Being crazy's a requirement, Sonny. Who else could understand the world when it's like this? It takes crazy to know crazy.
That's the sanest thing I've heard in a while.
Yeah, I agree. Gotta be completely crazy to make it in this world. As Krishnamurti said, it is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society.
Form Valhalla!
They give us a manuscript page and tell us about the message at their farm. Oh, I am loving this. Yes. And on the TV, we see ourselves again.
I'm not myself. It's hard to think that there's a shadow inside my head. I can only focus on writing. Everything else is a blur. I'm trapped in this cabin. Have been for days, but it's always dark outside. My editor is real. I saw her again. She's not human. It's not human. A dark presence is wearing the old woman's face. She was covered in clinging shadows. There's a hole in her chest where her heart should be. I think I've made a horrible mistake. I don't think I'm any closer to saving Alice. It's been lying to me, using me to get the story it wants, and the story will come true.
What in the...
The lights go out and we check out what happens. Within the office, we find a recording of Dr. Hartman talking to Alice. Okay.
The parties, he's so angry all the time. He's getting violent.
Do you mean with you?
No, not with me. No, never.
Going outside of this room, a well-placed photo shows that this guy is the kidnapper. Oh, I got you now. We open the door and Barry? Okay, I don't know what he's doing here, but sure. But these are no delusions, okay? In Hartman's office, we find the rest of the manuscript pages. Hartman even tries to persuade us to work together. Instead, though, yeah. We turn on the generator and lots of possessed items start disappearing. Now, this hallway, there's a possessed globe that crashes around everywhere. And I'm just like, what the heck am I supposed to do here? Now, I got it that the globe has to crash open the door. As a mechanic, I think this is really interesting. However, its implementation is a little bit rough. Outside, the entire house gets possessed, and I'm like, okay, let's get the frick out of here.
Go through the hedge maze over there.
Why do people even build things like this? I have never been. Is it really enjoyable to walk through something like this?
After making our way through the hedge maze, we make it outside and we have to defeat Dr. Hartman's muscle, as well as some birds, so nothing spectacular. We make our way to Barry, who of course is having troubles opening the gates, and so the first assault takes place. Basically, this is sort of wave survival-ish. Basically, take and just keep coming and you have to survive. Barry really could not have gotten this lock open at a better time.
I mean, guess any time before would have been better, but most likely less satisfying from a story perspective. Ah, smart way to write it. Yeah.
Anyway, next stop?
To the Anderson farm.
I knew you were gonna say something like that. You know what? You owe me big time for this.
Oh yeah, rock and roll. But of course, it can never be that straightforward. Luckily, the farm isn't too far away. We get lots of taken after us, however, without a gun, it's running time. Once we get to a safe haven, all the takens disappear, so there you go. And then the light speaks to us again.
Each page to the right time and place. I'm trying to show you how the story goes.
I had seen glimpses of the light before. I had seen it in my dream. It was a strange spaceman or a diver in a bulky suit. He was the one who'd been placing the pages on my path.
Within the cabin, we hear screaming and find the guy that was just attacked by his taken friend. I am sorry, my man.
Who wrote this crap anyway?
Wait, Alan wrote a character criticizing his own writing? Heck yeah.
On the TV, Alan finally makes a crazy discovery.
I've run through every possible course in my head. If I continue like the Dark Presence wants me to, the story I'm writing won't save Alice. It's a horror story, and it's going to kill her, and me, and everybody in this town. No one will survive. Darkness will consume everything. This is what it's wanted all along. It will be free, unstoppable. It used Alice to get to me, dangled her in front of me to keep me going. It was never going to release her. I'm going to change this. I'll escape. I've written myself into the story. I'm now the protagonist. This feels like a terrible risk, but it's the only way to save Alice. I'll be bound by the events of the story just as much as anyone else who's been woven into it. The story must stay true for this to work. There have to be victims along the way, near escapes, cliffhangers. In a horror story, it can't be certain that the hero will succeed or even survive. He almost has to die. I'll write my own escape into the story next. I need help. Zane's going to be the one who will help me. I'll make it happen.
So basically, every single time there's a near miss, or I mean just enough ammo, we escape just in time. It's almost like Wake writing himself into the story and giving him a way out because, well, all that is written must eventually come to pass. Man, this would make a really good book. Ah!
Alright, we take the truck and off we are to the farm. The first thing we see on the farm is the stage and then... And now we're defending the stage.
I mean, come on. I don't know. This is awesome. It's both silly and one of the best moments in the entire game. High octane action, a sense of danger all around, and rock and freaking roll, baby!
That was awesome!
Listen, I absolutely love this part. This is like top 3 parts of the entire game. Awesomely executed, just amazing. It was super fun. We make it through some barns and buildings, smash open a gate with a giant Viking boat, and finally open the door for Barry. On the farmstead proper, we turn on the lights and music starts playing. Within their living room, we find the record player, and here is the message.
Okay. We need to find Cynthia Weaver.
Wait
We'll
a
stay here
second.
for the night and head back to town as soon as it gets light.
Cynthia Weaver. CW! Oh, that's brilliant!
It was a crazy drunken dream, and yet it was more than that. It was the truth. Jagger had Alice, and so she had me.
Look at the cabin. Is there someone in the window?
The dark presence had touched me. She had dug her nails into my brain and used me, made me her puppet.
She's not here. You were foolish to think so. No, she's dead. She drowned.
No!
Cauldron Lake is a special place. Here, you have the power to change things. I will tell you what to do. You can write her back. The story will come true, and all will be well again.
Basically, Barbara, the dark presence, took Alice and is now forcing Alan to write.
Yes. I'll write. I'll fix it. I'll bring her back.
And as we are watching him...
Wait, is she aware of us? No, it can't be. It can't be!
Jagger had been my editor, whispering in my ear, making sure that the unfolding story would make her more and more powerful. I thought I was saving Alice. Even with the cobweb she put in my head, some part of me had been aware enough to write my escape into the story, to bring a light into the cabin to release me before I could finish. Zane was weak and far away, but I had written him into the story, and his light had been enough to set me free.
It isn't here now. I'm here because it was written. I brought the light to set you free. You must hurry. We'll know I'm here. It will be back soon.
The week spent in the cabin had taken its toll. I was barely conscious, and fading fast. I wrote it. It's my fault.
That's right, James Joyce. It's your fault, and you're gonna pay for it.
So that is the truth, and oh boy. We'll go over this after the 6th chapter again, and then after the 2 chapters that are special, the 2 special episodes. But the way that the writing is basically unfolding 2 stories at the same time, it's unbelievably genius. Extremely well done too. Now, what a damn cliffhanger again. Damn!
Alan wakes in prison. Yes, pun intended.
Listen, I think Barbara was watching us, because for some reason, she turned off the friggin' sound at the beginning of the recording. Listen, I don't know what happened here. Luckily though, the pre-rendered cutscenes do have sound, so at least we have something. And then at some point, I do notice it. So, you know, I'll just have to sound effect or explain what we miss.
Anyway, oh boy, here we go. Alright, the sheriff is not quite on board with what the Fed is doing, and Agent Nightingale actually has read the manuscript, so he knows exactly what is going to be said. Wake gets a sudden flash and, well...
Get back in the cell, Stephen King. The only way you're leaving this place is over my dead...
Wait a minute. I know.
Well, that is one way to get rid of an antagonist. We turn the power back on and we tell the sheriff we have to get to Cynthia Weaver. She lives in a power plant and the sheriff will take us there by helicopter. Meanwhile, Barry will stay behind, call a couple of people to warn them of the impending darkness. Fair enough. Sarah and Wake make a good team and I'm happy that she also sees the Taken and is on our side. We track through the town and suddenly Barry starts running after us. Something is coming for him. Oh my. We find another assault because the church door is stuck. Nothing too noteworthy here and there. Just some super fast taken that run around like maniacs. Those are a bit harder to deal with. To progress from the church, we then have to go through this cellar. This really is a horror story, man. And finally we find Barry with Christmas lights.
This is giving me an unmistakable horror movie vibes. Those damn Christmas lights? At the same time, kind of genius, not gonna lie.
He also has a headlamp and the best line of the entire game, which, well, we have to reenact, so here you go.
Hey, I'm walking here. See this headlamp? It's like a superpower. I can just look at one of those things and they die. It's like my flaming eye of Mordor. I wish I didn't say that. Oh, Barry, I love that you said it. I absolutely love it. Nice.
We continue to the helicopter and have to survive another assault, this time a big one. Sarah and Barry are trying to start a helicopter and we're holding off hordes of Taken. Genuinely, super fun sequence here too, although the stage was just a little bit better. Here we can also turn on some of the lights. Every time a wave is defeated, some steel beams get thrown our way, and basically we have ample resources, so easy enough. Still pretty cool. Well, we make it to the helicopter and off to the power plant. Of course, birds attack the helicopter and we fall out. This makes us lose our gun and all equipment during the fall.
Convenient wake, almost made to make the next parts more harrowing. Giving more stakes to the story, eh?
To get to the power plant, we have to make it through a bit of an electrical maze. It is quite fun to push the Taken into the electricity. We make it onto a bridge that's rotating, and while fighting these damn birds, I lose sense of all directions. So now we just wait, because if I run across again, I won't make it. Finally, we do cross, and all of a sudden...
Kaupenjoe, turn up the volume!
Hey, the audio's back! And luckily, just as Alan was saying something very profound, before we go into the power plant.
I recognized the logo on the power plant sign. I'd seen a version of it painted all over the area, signifying hidden caches of supplies.
I'm a friend.
Prove it!
You knew Zane. Thomas Zane. You're the Lady of the Light in the song. You can help me.
Young man, I've been waiting a very long time for you. It's in the well-lit room.
Excuse me?
What you need to drive the darkness back.
Okay, so we must go to the well-lit room. Something is kept there that will help us defeat the darkness. Alright. To gain access, we must first redirect the power from the yard. Alright, let's go. There's a small puzzle here with floodgates where each button closes or opens 2 gates at the same time. Eventually we get there, but I must say, whoever designed this really should be reprimanded or fired. Each button should really just control 1 gate. We run back to Weaver and start going through the pipe that makes it to the well-lit room.
I knew them both, Tom and Barbara. Such a crush on him. Such a beautiful man. I was jealous, and then Tom started writing and woke the darkness up. He tried to bring her back, but you can't do that. There are no free rides like that.
I'm starting to realize that.
In that case, young man, perhaps you're a smarter man than Tom was.
Alright, this is some heavy stuff.
We are characters trapped in a story you have written, and none of us will survive to see the end of it if the darkness isn't stopped. She'll twist the story to her own dark ends.
How do you know all this?
Tom, that's the way he wrote it.
I can't help but feel bad for Cynthia in some way. If she was written to be crazy like this by Alan, her madness is his doing. Simply to serve the story. Just doesn't sit right with me.
As we're inside the pipe, the helicopter crashes, and so we go outside, making sure that both Sarah and Barry are okay. Luckily, we find them both and make our way towards the dam and the well-lit room. Of course, we're cut off from the two of them when the garage door closes suddenly. It's not like we're not used to being alone. So, alright. Here we then control a searchlight, which is a really neat new toy that gets rid of Taken easily. As we make our way onto the bridge, the darkness is trying to stop us best it can, however, we make it.
There's no shadow in the well-lit room. The power is fail-safe, and all the bulbs are numbered and changed regularly based on their make and model.
Right.
That's what I mean, right? She probably has a spreadsheet for every single bulb to make sure that she changes them. Let's be honest, she probably doesn't even have that. She just keeps it in her head. But now the question is, what is kept in the well-lit room?
The page was autobiographical, a memory from my childhood. But I didn't write this. It was a page written by Thomas Zane. None of them were supposed to exist anymore.
Alan, 7 years old, would fight sleep to the bitter end. When he did sleep, he soon woke up, screaming, the nightmares fresh in his mind. One evening, his mother, sitting by his bed, offered him an old light switch. She called it the clicker, and flicking the switch would turn on a magical light that would drive the beast away. To imbue the talisman with all possible power, she added that it had been given to her by Alan's father. Alan never knew him, and anything of his took on mythical proportions in his mind. With the clicker firmly in his hand, Alan finally slept like a baby. Now, almost 30 years later, Alan thought of this as he stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, the clicker in his hand. He took a deep breath and jumped.
My mind swirled. I'd given the clicker to Alice, yet it was here. Zane had written it into existence in a story I had written. I can get to her now. I can finish this.
Okay, so bear with me here for just a second. So Thomas Zane wrote the backstory of Alan Wake, who basically wrote that into his own story due to the page from Thomas Zane that wrote the clicker into existence, even though Alan gave it to Alice before. My mind is not broken, but it's racing, okay? I love this. I love this absolutely. Basically, it leads me to think one of two things. Either Thomas Zane wrote Alan Wake into existence, or Alan Wake wrote Thomas Zane into existence. Or did they write each other into existence, like a never-ending grandfather paradox? One more episode for the main story, and it's getting juicy, okay? I mean, more of my theories and some of my interpretations at the end. I do love this, though. What an incredible story so far.
In a flashback, we go 2 years back, where Alan Wake's hungover, and we can watch a short, or long, I guess, program on TV.
Well, basically a late-night comedy show. Alan makes some jokes, the host makes some jokes, and nothing else too interesting, man.
Alice comes home, and they have a small fight, but they make up pretty fast.
It's almost over, right? We can get back to normal. Then you can start writing again. Just take a shower and go back to bed, huh?
Yeah, you're right, honey. I'm sorry.
And back in the present day...
I'm going back to the lake to finish this.
All right.
I'm going to write an ending to the story in the manuscript on my own terms. To make it all right. Everything needs to be just right. Zane tried to cut some corners, and it didn't end well. But I need to do this alone. Barry, take her gun.
Good luck, Al.
When I got out, it was warm and sunny. I'd flicked the switch of the clicker. Had it done this? I didn't stop to question it. I had to take advantage of the sunlight to get to the lake.
Well, towards Cauldron Lake to end this once and for all. We drive into a tunnel and the darkness is present.
The darkness had touched me. There was a link between us. Always would be. I could feel its presence again, getting closer.
Then a flash again, and suddenly it's nighttime. Of course it wouldn't be this easy. After a couple of fights, we finally make it on to the bridge.
This bridge gave me more issues than anything previous in this game. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I first fell into the water, which is fair enough. Then the giant machine kills me because I didn't realize the way backwards was fully blocked. So after like 3 or 4 attempts, I finally did this. Really, the only reason why it sticks out that I struggle so much with this port is because, well, there's barely any other ports where I struggled so much. So, I don't know. We get rid of a monster truck and continue to drive, and it's getting clear things are getting serious. Once we make it to the scrapyard, we turn on the power, and finally, a bulldozer tries to attack us. I mean, nothing can stop us now though, so haha. Generally here, it's driving from set piece to set piece, and I think Alan sums it up quite well.
When I told Barry my plan back in the well-lit room, I'd acted as if I knew what I was doing. I didn't. I was operating on the shifting logic of a dream.
Yeah, within this ghost town, there's even more enemies around.
One of the complaints I have about the fighting system is at some point, it does become slightly stale. Yes, we now, for example, have searchlights, which is fine, and there's a mix of takens and objects, and it does keep it fresh, but in general, there's like 1 or 2 more iterations missing, or just a couple like fights that are too many. I wish there was just something a bit more. In the end of the day, if and buts were candy and nuts, we all have a Merry Christmas, but it is what it is.
We drive on a rusty old minecord while birds attack us. We've seen this previously too, and now we must continue through the woods. At this point, I basically just ignore some of the encounters and just run, either using flares or just running immediately to the next safe haven. Objects start falling out of the sky, always barely missing us. It's almost as if it's written for exactly that purpose. Well done, Alan. Barbara really is trying to stop us here. However, she cannot. We must endure. We must prevail. No matter what obstacle or lie the darkness pushes against us, we cannot listen to it. And finally, it's time to destroy the tornado. Now, you might ask, how does one destroy a tornado? You defeat the darkness with light. That's how. And as he stood on the rim of Cauldron Lake, the clicker in his hand, he took a deep breath and jumped. Hell. Alan wakes up back in New York City, but this is just another dream. It's not real.
You must find your way to the cabin. It stands in your way. It won't let you pass. It has no heart. It's filled with darkness. You must fill its heart with light. Don't mind him. He's Mr. Scratch. Your friends will meet him when you're gone.
Mr. Scratch? What the heck?
Use the clicker.
Right, we must find ourselves in this broken landscape. Here, we must illuminate words to spawn new objects. This is really freaking cool. Some interesting voice lines played during the segment, so I'll let them play because I think they might be important.
You're not my Barbara.
Tom, let me go. I promise to be good. Please, untie me, you naughty boy.
No, you're not Barbara Jagger. I made a terrible mistake. I should have never written you back. You came back wrong. Your heart is filled with darkness.
Put that knife away, Thomas. Put it down.
My heart is filled with darkness. I'll cut it out. I'll take you back to the depths of paper.
Okay, but if you listen to this...
Your heart is filled with darkness.
That is Alan's voice, okay? Okay, like it's spoken by Thomas Zane, but it's at the very least the same voice actor. Now you can't tell me that the people who are taking such care about the story would just randomly do this, okay? Where's my tinfoil hat, okay? Because this is... Something's weird here, okay?
Alright, we will the cabin into existence. And there she is. Barbara.
All he had to do was write.
Now you will never get her back.
We finally meet her, and...
I am much older than you. Older than your first work of art.
we will fill her heart with light.
I will find a new face to wear. Someone else to dream me free.
But oh, we're not done quite yet. Finally, we can see the true ending to the story. This is where the darkness does not consume Alice. Instead, she is able to escape. But a question might be here. What did he give up in order to bring her back? Well, it's a good question. Anyway, this is definitely a creepy ending to an otherwise happy scene. And in true writer's fashion, the last words of departure.
It's not a lake. It's an ocean.
Alan, wake up.
Now that was Alan Wake. But hold your horses, bucko. We're not even close to being done. We still have the 2 DLC episodes to play, and those are pretty crazy. After that, come my conspiracy ramblings. What does it all mean? First things first though, the base story of Alan Wake was incredible. I loved it. From start to the end, with the slight exception of the ending itself. While the last line was phenomenal, Alan being trapped in the dark place seems somewhat unsatisfying. My hope was that after finishing the 2 DLC episodes, it would either explain it further or we might even get it out. I mean, because surely if he was able to write Alice back alive, somehow he's able to write himself out of the dark place, right? Right? Listen, but when it comes to the ramblings, there's a more interesting idea. Alan's backstory is mentioned by Thomas Zane in a book that he wrote, or at least in a page that he wrote. That was found in the well-lit room. Now, did Thomas Zane create Alan Wake? Is this really just a story in a story in a story? Or did Alan create Thomas? But where did Barbara come from at that point? Just all of a sudden? Did the cabin on the lake just appear again? Because the lights were out. It's all because you can be hurt in darkness. It's the darkness. So many questions and simply no answers. But perhaps those answers are not always needed. Only if you equate an answer with the light. But what illuminates things? The illumination. The illumination is in the asking, not in the answering. All right, let's go. The signal. But before, my stats. Take a look at that.
Stats. Honestly, for just casually trying to collect everything, those stats are not too shabby. While this episode starts with an interesting monologue.
After the completion of any difficult undertaking, there are mixed emotions. Accomplishment and relief. Sadness, depression. For a while, everything was about the work. Like an illness, it consumed you, changed you. You locked yourself away from the world to do it, and now you need to recover. Learn to live without it. Find a way to crack open the door and let the light back in. I knew this place. It was familiar, but wrong somehow.
Welcome to the
Within the diner, we get to the bathroom, and within, Thomas Zane is contacting us with some disturbing news.
Nightmares. Too deep. Can't take the pressure. It's too much.
Suddenly, Wake found himself face to face with himself.
The dream suddenly became lucid. The dark place. That's where I was.
Yeah, basically, Alan is now fighting himself. Just like he said, he has to let the light back in. Within the dark place, he's become totally mad. Every time there's TVs, we can see Alan write another part of the story with himself in it, usually making his life, and by extension ours, way more difficult.
The world had become twisted. These trees didn't belong here.
Words start appearing in the world, and through the use of our flashlight, we can make things appear, just like in the last leg of our original journey. Making objects appear with the words inside of the world is a great mechanic, and I really like it. It's unexpected, and it's a great new thing to introduce.
The town itself turned against Wake. Cars flew toward him. It cracked bone and crushed muscle. It oozed hate. It wanted to bury him.
One thing that's very apparent with the 2 DLC episodes is that there is a major difficulty spike, okay? It is ramped up like crazy. At the very least, it felt so for me. I do think it makes complete sense, but especially towards the end, I mean everything. Even casual encounters are ruthless. I do think that is some amazing ludonarrative harmony. If you've never heard of that word, it basically means that the story and the gameplay mechanics harmonize perfectly. And in this case, because we're trapped in the dark place, Alan Wake, Mr. Scratch, I don't know, dark possessed Wake, who knows, has gone completely off his rocker and insane. Basically, trying to kill Alan Wake that we're playing right now. So I think it makes total sense that the game is getting harder.
And an awesome set piece here is the boiler room, where we can light up the word blast, and it then will blast the Taken. Super friggin' fun. Finally, we conjure up a friend. Isn't that nice? On our way to the sawmill, we actually get words like boom, which allows us to summon an explosion to deal with the Taken. I like this. The iteration on this is freaking cool and creative. It works very well. Making a bridge appear by using a searchlight and then, well, making the bridge appear.
Those are bad words. Bad words.
So first, the birds are now replaced by a flock of Alan's books, which is, there's some irony in this somewhere. And finally, this entire field is filled with bad words like enemy or possessed. Now, this is taking the light up word mechanic and twisting it on its head. Just so smart. And because Wake points his flashlight the entire time, we now must avoid setting them off. Brilliant. Just chef's kiss. We then fight 2 monster trucks, and they give me such a hard time that at first I just die. To be fair though, the reverse into hitting me? What a freaking move, man. Anyway, the second time around, we destroy them both and then get to continue. All of a sudden, we jump into a memory where we see Alice taking a picture of Alan for his book. And all of a sudden, we're back in Alan's apartment again with lots of TVs. Oh boy. Oh, Thomas Zane. Well, he explains what is happening, at least a little bit.
This area of the dark place is calmer, at least for the time being. We can talk here, but we don't have much time.
Zane, how do I get out of here?
That's what you face. That's you, even as we speak.
Doctor's coming! Swept him away. Lost. He knew. He knew! He couldn't hold on.
You are making this happen. You're trapped in your own nightmares. No! Alan, you must.
The darkness wasn't so bad. It was in him. He felt it. He knew the voice spoke the truth. It was just too hard to think. He couldn't make sense of it. Couldn't.
Jumping down the balcony, we have a boss fight on our hands, and man, this was rough. Not only did Taken come from all directions, objects started flying towards us as the Taken were gone. And then more Taken appeared again. So getting the light onto the wall of TVs was rough. While I didn't die here, this was probably the hardest fight. I barely scraped by. And finally, we light it all up and... we get rid of the lost boat and the books. And finally, well, you might ask, did we wake up? Well, not quite.
There you go, Alan. Hartman. It's all in your head. You've been making it up.
Why is this happening to me? Lodge. No. No. Hartman. There's no way out. No way out. No way out. I need to get out of here. Get out. No. How do I get out of here?
I'm gonna be real, this left me with more questions than answers. Let's get to the last episode, hopefully to make some sense of this. The Writer. Alright, here we go.
The last episode, The Writer, starts as reality is shifting back and forth. Yeah, whatever progress we made in the signal was barely any progress. I guess Wake explains it well here.
After finishing Departure, I felt finished myself. All I had wanted was to save Alice. After that, a part of me had been ready to just give in and die. But I hadn't given up. Thomas Zane had reached me. I had run across a nightmarish landscape following a signal from him. He'd kept telling me I was sinking, going too deep. I wasn't sure if he meant the dark place or insanity. Perhaps they were one and the same.
Amongst the nightmare versions of the Anderson form, we have to survive another assault. Turning on more and more fireworks is very fun, and the segment here once again is pretty good. It is similar to the stage, although it feels distinct, and it's still not as cool as the stage, let's be honest. We make it back to Dr. Hartman's lodge, and as we're outside, we find Zane.
You are trapped in your own dream. You must wake yourself up, but first, you have to reach yourself.
The cabin.
Yes, my cabin. It will not be easy. Your previous work can help you. I still have some pages of your manuscript left. Words like that have power here.
Alright, as we descend deeper and deeper, things become more and more strange. Cabins start tilting and rotating around, objects start flying, and we can use them as bridges, and oh boy, we must reach the lighthouse in order to find the cabin again.
Like it was no longer even bothering to pretend that things were normal.
We then make our way to a room that is rotating around its axis. That is an interesting freaking set piece. I do like it. Then we jump into water. We're basically reliving the entire story of the game. The rotating set here was really freaking cool with its shifting and changing gravity, and
Next stop, sanity.
yeah, that would be nice.
Keep going.
It's hard to make sense of this place.
It's a dream. This is a vast place. Home to forces and beings that are completely alien.
The dark presence.
Yes. I don't know what happened to it after your final encounter. Sometimes transmissions can be sent between worlds. You've done this yourself, but to actually leave the dark place, I haven't found a way.
Right, Zane hasn't been able to leave the dark place. Oh boy.
I talked about the difficulty before, but I'm pretty sure I died more in the 2 DLC episodes than in the rest of the game combined. Once again, it totally makes sense. But still, whoa.
The part of you that is in control is in the cabin, dreaming and insane. You represent the part of Alan Wake that is capable of rational thought and planning. If that part can regain control, then you have a chance of making it. But a part of you wants to give in. There's comfort in the oblivion of dreams. You represent the part that isn't ready to quit and die.
Wait, are you telling me I'm not real?
You're as real as anything else in this place.
So there are two of me?
Yes.
And the one you called Mr. Scratch, he's me as well?
No.
Zane, are you playing some kind of game with me?
I am not the author of your story.
How can you say that when you wrote that page about me in the clicker? It wasn't one of my pages. You directed me to it. You had Weaver guard it.
Yes, she was needed. And you needed the clicker. But I'm not.
What? I don't understand.
Alan, you should keep going.
I would say it actually created even more questions. You're as real as anything else in this place? Fascinating dodge for a question, don't you think?
I had to make myself see the light.
As we're nearing the lighthouse, its light starts shining into our direction and we're able to crumble the rocks around us. So when the lighthouse of the light hits, the Taken are instantly evaporated. Great segment here again. It has me close to death a couple of times, but we make it through. Finally, into the lighthouse. Yeah. We made it back to Diver's Isle. And in front of the cabin, we get infinite ammo and infinite batteries. To fight first Dr. Hartman, then the Anderson brothers, and finally Barry himself. Once we defeat him 3 times, our fight is over. Almost.
What is happening to me? It's too dark. Where am I? What is happening to me?
Just like that, my mind was clear. Zane had been right. I could think clearly again. But I couldn't survive in this place the way he had, and I might not make it back a second time. Leaving this place would be hard, maybe impossible. It wouldn't take much for my thoughts to stray again. It was too easy to get lost in the dark place. Before, I was ready to curl up and die, let myself slip away. But here I was, the yet unwritten future waiting to unfold before me. A sequel to Departure. My name is Alan Wake, and I'm a writer.
So my honest reaction to this was, that's it? Looking back at it now, having a couple of days or some weeks to digest it all, I can still say I feel just the slightest bit underwhelmed by the ending. Now, to be fair, I have just listened to the story. Wake said it in the very beginning. But there can be no explanation. Yes, yes! That is what we have to remember. Maybe that's what we remember in the end. Maybe. Or perhaps it doesn't matter at all. As for all the theories, I still can't shake some sort of idea of a time loop or creation for Zane and Alan. They might be the same person for all I know. I don't know. Maybe Zane is his father, perhaps? Who knows? Regardless, some things are clearly just insane. This Mr. Scratch, what does that even mean? Your friends will meet him when you're gone? Does that mean that the real world is going to get an Alan Wake? Like just an NPC version of him? That's really weird. So while the real Alan is stuck in the dark place, the other guy is just walking around, I don't even know. Very strange to me. The story took on many shades of grey to complete the darkness to ultimate light. You can clearly tell great care was taken to shine a light onto many questions, but not all of them were answered. Pretty good. Now, I played the game in 2025, so I could just continue by playing Control, which came out in 2019, and I could even play Alan Wake, which came out in 2023. But man, if I had to wait 13 years for any crumbs of information on this, yeah, I would have been this guy, okay? Whoa. Revisiting this game, it is clear there are no signs of aging at all. The mechanics serve the game really well. Sometimes the fights against the Taken are a little bit tedious, but it's never a huge issue. It's always really well done. The difficulty spike in the DLC episodes was sudden and unexpected, but once again, it was understandable. Finally, the story itself is awesome. I really enjoyed it. Every cliffhanger had me jump at the opportunity to continue. But as we've learned, sometimes each episode just raises more questions than answers. Overall though, I am able to give Alan Wake a 9 out of 10. The heavy lifting here is obviously done with the story. The gameplay itself just exists to serve the story, and it serves it well in my opinion. The gameplay itself, it would not be as captivating, right? If it was just the gameplay, it would not be a good game in that sense. But everything together, it creates a coherent masterpiece. Just wonderful work of art. And what's also...
Before Kaupenjoe was able to finish the video, it came to pass. His own descent into madness would start soon enough. He dared to start a retrospective on GTA 1 to really know where it all started. This might be the last safe haven for you for a while.
Alright, I am armed with a revolver and a flashlight, so we can do this. Thank you so much for watching this Halloween retrospective, even though you're probably not watching it on Halloween. And if you do, feel free to drop a comment below. Next time we're playing GTA 1 and you can watch that retrospective right here once it's available. Until then, so yeah!